Because you have little training. Your speaking isn't automatic. And it is not automatic because you don't practice it often enough. When you want to speak fluently, I recommend speaking for at least 30 minutes a day. You can speak to a real person. If you don't have a real person for a conversation, you can do thinking aloud. It is necessary to really think aloud and not only think in your head. You need to practice the connection between your brain and your muscles. You can do this by thinking aloud. Does it make sense? Yes, says the girl. If you want to speak fluently, speak for 30 minutes every day. The next lesson, one of the students asks an interesting question. She says, next week, I'm going home. I would like to continue studying in my country. I don't know how to choose a good school there. Could you help me? How do I know if the school is good or not? My teacher says, this is a very good question. I believe that when you read, listen, and speak a lot, you don't have to go to a school. You will learn English naturally by using it. But if you want to pay for your education, a good teacher can help you learn faster. If you want to know if your school is good, before the first lesson of the course, go to www.testlanguages.com. There you can find how many words you know. After 5 lessons at the new school, do the test again and you can see how many new words you know. If you are happy with your progress, you can continue paying for your lessons. It is also important that you enjoy every lesson and you look forward to the next one. It is important to enjoy every activity which you do with English. I also give private lessons via Skype. If you are interested, I can teach you via Skype. If you don't find a good school in your town, you can contact me and I can help you. This is great, says the student. I want to have private lessons with you via Skype. This is great news for me. I didn't know that it was possible to have a private lesson with my teacher. Soon, I am also going back to my country and I want to have private lessons with my teacher. When you go to school, you have to see your progress and enjoy every lesson. The next day, one girl asks our teacher an interesting question. She says, thank you for the information which you give us on how to learn English. Can you give us a summary? Can you give us some rules about what we can do every day to learn English well? Our teacher says, okay, I can give you a simple summary. If you want to speak English well, you need to do 3 things. You have to read, listen, and speak. You already have this information. What is important is that you do all these 3 activities the same amount of time. If you don't do one thing, your progress isn't usually very good. From my experience, I can say that it is important to use English every day for 90 minutes. You don't have to study, but it is good to use English actively. Now, I will explain every activity in more detail. Let's start with reading. It is good to read for 30 minutes every day. It is the minimum. Don't read to study English. Read to get some new information. Read to enjoy an interesting story. I know that I repeat this information again and again, but it is really important. Then, it is good listen to English for 30 minutes every day. It is good to start to listen to simple audiobooks or news first. Then you can go to a higher and higher level of books and news. When you know 2,000 words, you can start watching films and videos on the internet. Then there is speaking. You already know how important it is to speak when you study English. It is important to speak for 30 minutes every day. Of course, the best is to speak to real people. It can be your teacher, your colleagues, or friends. Try to find somebody who is at your level of English or a little better and speak with this person. But if you have nobody to speak to, with shadowing and thinking aloud, you can also get a lot of speaking practice every day. I use these techniques very often when I learn Spanish. I don't have any native Spanish speakers in my life. I use these two techniques to improve my Spanish. As you can see, studying English is simple. All you have to do is read, listen, and speak. This is all. Now you know how to do it. Thank you, says the girl. This is great information. You are the best. I'm also very happy that the girl asked this question. It is my last day at school and I needed some summary about what I can do. During the 4 weeks which I spent with my teacher, I learnt a lot. I also improved my English very much. My teacher knows that this is my last day at school. She asks me if I want to say something to the other students in the class. I say that I was very happy to study in this class. I met a lot of nice people. I give everybody my email address and I tell them that they can contact me if they want to. Then I say goodbye to everybody. I am a little sad, but I know that I have to continue with my life. Now, it is 1 year after my last day at school. I used English every day. I used the techniques from my teacher. Now, I know 4,000 words in English. It is great. I also have a new job. I start to teach English. Itish Bejine. They know only 500 words. It is good for me because I know that I need a lot of practice as a teacher before I can teach at higher levels. I have one great advantage in my new job. I had a great teacher in London. I learnt a lot from her. Now, I am trying to give all what I learnt from my teacher to my students. I want them to be successful too. When you want to learn English, read, listen, and speak. Do each activity for 30 minutes every day.